Okay, culinarians. In this video, we're going to make the shrimp mac and cheese. Now, the other two videos showed you how to do the bechamel sauce. We turned that into Alfredo sauce. Now we're going to turn that Alfredo sauce into shrimp mac and cheese. So for reviews, applause for this. We got a lot going on today. You got your saute pan. You got your bowl that we're going to present the mac and cheese in. You got your cooked pasta. Remember, when you cook the pasta, this type of pasta I'm going to give you cooks in about 8 to 9 minutes. Okay, traditionally a lot of people cook their pasta for about 10 minutes. Well, if you overcook the pasta, you're going to overcook a lot of nutrients out of it. Plus, with the pasta, you want it a little bit firm. When that pasta is a little bit firm, we go to put the sauce on it, that pasta is going to absorb some of that sauce, no matter what it is. Today we've got Alfredo sauce. You use the red sauce, whatever sauce you have. So you want that pasta just al dente, okay? So we got our cooked pasta, we got our Alfredo sauce that we made, got some white wine, got some mascarpone cheese, got our tomato, got some shrimp, and we got our white wine. Whenever I set up to do a cooking presentation, or whenever I set my station up to cook with, if I'm cooking on the line, a lot of you guys are going to be cooking on the line saute or broiler. I always try to keep myself organized on the way I'm going to be cooking it. I'll get to that a little bit later. But for now, we got the shrimp, we got to peel and clean, we got the tomato, we got to dice up. On knives, I got my boning knife, I got my whisk, my wooden spoon for cooking with, I got my chef's knife, and of course I got my steel. First thing we're going to do is cut up the tomato, okay? So with the tomato, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, you take your tomato, take it where the part was on the vine, put it face down, just cut your tomato right in half. Cut your tomato right in half, and then we're going to dice it up from there. Should have a good edge on this before I dice it. I'm going to take it where the vine was, just going to put a little V cut in there, get that piece out. Now with the tomato, we're going to cut it into planks, kind of like you did with your dicing. Okay. I'm going to make my julienne strips here. The reason why I cut the tomato the opposite way, so when I go to cut this now, all the seeds are going to fall out of it. So I'm cutting against the tomato. And so when I dice up the tomato, it's going to stay a little bit more together for me. Okay. Now that I did the tomato first, I'm going to go ahead and clean the shrimp. And since I did the tomato first, I go ahead and clean the shrimp on here. I'm not cross-contaminating. One, I'm cooking everything, so that's okay. But with the shrimp, if I would have had the shrimp juice on here, and then with the raw shrimp, and then the tomatoes on there, it's not a very good practice to get into. So what I did was I went ahead and cooked my, cut my tomatoes first. I'm going to put on my gloves. Get a little flour here. Put on my gloves. I'm going to clean the shrimp up. Put these gloves on. It's a good humid day today, so they're a little challenging to get these gloves on. That's all right. That's why I put a little bit of flour on my hands. Now with the shrimp, take the shrimp, I'm going to take the feet, the legs, I'm just going to peel them back. Holding on to the tail, I'm going to peel them back. I'm going to grab at the bottom of the tail, give a little pinch, give a little pinch at the other end, and just pop it right off there. Okay? So I take the shrimp, I take the legs, and just peel them back. Give a little pinch. Pull the rest of the shell off. Last one here, take the legs, pull them back, give a little pinch, pull the shell right off. Get some of the stuff on my cutting board. Now with the shrimp, we're going to cut the shrimp right in half. Okay? There's that little vein in there. Take that vein out. Reason why I'm cutting these shrimp in half, these are nice sized shrimp. These are roughly about a 18, 20 count shrimp. So these are nice sized shrimp. Now if I would put these and try to saute them off right away, a lot of times when you get the larger shrimp like this, and you go to cook them, tend to overcook them and they get a little bit rubbery on you. So that's why I'm cutting them down. I still got that large size, but I'm cutting the cooking time down to make the shrimp a little bit more tender. Okay, got all that vein out of there. I got my shrimp done. Gloves off. Flour. Okay. Now I got my recipe. I'm looking at the recipe here to make sure I got everything ready to go. So I got my oil blend, I got my shrimp, I got my tomatoes, I got my mascarpone cheese, I got my white wine, I got my Alfredo sauce, and I got my pasta. Okay? So I got everything all lined up the way I'm going to cook it. I'm going to start here and work towards the pan. That way, if I get stopped or interrupted during the cooking process, I know where I left off at. Okay, same if you're working on the line. If you're working on the line, saute station, you have everything lined up, ready to go. As you start cooking, you just go boom, 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 one right after the other. You don't even have to think about it. So when you start cooking, don't even think, just do. It just becomes automatic. So I got my saute pan here, got that nice and hot. I got my oil. Got about a tablespoon of oil I'm going to put in there. A tablespoon of oil I got in there. Heat that up. Get it nice and hot. Good. Feel the heat coming up. It's a good, nice pan. I'm going to throw my shrimp in there first. Here it's sizzling just a bit. Looks good. Keep the shrimp moving in there so it doesn't stick. What I'm going to do is cook my shrimp up. Once the shrimp is just about ready, you want to cook it almost all the way. Because what's going to happen is the shrimp's going to finish cooking when you start putting together your sauce. So in the recipe, you got your diced tomatoes. Doing this recipe, I noticed with the diced tomatoes going in too soon, it turned a little bit too red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off the tomatoes. I'm going to put them towards the end of the line now. Because I know if I throw the tomatoes in too soon, it might turn this a little too red. So I'm just going to back off on that. I got the shrimp cooking. The shrimp's almost ready. Notice how I got my seasoning over here. I got my salt, my pepper, and that Parmesan cheese. We didn't use all the Parmesan cheese when we made the Alfredo sauce, so I held back on some, just in case I need to add a little bit more Parmesan cheese to this dish. So the shrimp is looking good. Just about ready. Okay. So we're going to deglaze it. We're going to put the little mascarpone cheese in there. Put that in there so it can start melting. And deglaze with the wine. Oh, I love wine. Just a little bit more wine. Mascarpone cheese melted. Put my Alfredo sauce in there. toast up. Get my pasta. Get my pasta cooking in here. Ooh boy. You smell that? It smells pretty darn good. Get this all mixed up. Now I'm going to go through my tomatoes in there. Looking good, looking good. I'm going to taste it. Definitely needs some more seasoning. First, I'm going to start out with a little bit more Parmesan cheese. So remember, the Parmesan cheese has a little bit of salt in it. So I'm going to put the salt at the very end when I go to taste it. Do my final seasoning. Got the Parmesan cheese in there. Give another taste. Still could use the Parmesan cheese. Put the rest of that Parmesan cheese in there. It tastes pretty good. Got the cheese melted in there. Good. Taste here. There we go. A little bit of pepper. Just a dab of pepper in there. And just a little pinch of salt there. I'm not a salt person, so I'm not going to put a lot of salt in there. So I'm just going to put a little dab in there to help bring out the rest of the flavors. Good looking mac and cheese here. Do a final taste. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's really good. That's really good. Put this in the bowl. When I put it in the bowl, what I'm going to do is get some of that pasta in there. Try to hold off some of that shrimp. So I want to try to get that shrimp sit right on top so people can see that shrimp. There we go. That shrimp right on top there. A little messy here. Clean the plate up a bit. And there's a shrimp mac and cheese. Enjoy.